Yo, hello, how's it going? So I have something kind of fun today. I've never opened an entire box of Final Fantasy TCG by myself. The few boxes I've purchased, I've always kind of divvied out to draft with friends. And there was one point at which I bought a box and split it. So I've never opened a full box of the game for myself. The set's actually quite fun to open and quite good, and I'm missing a couple cards for it. So rather than buy them from locals, or order them online, I figured, why not? Let's go gamble a little bit, see if we can't pull ourselves a full art, a mono, or a Yuffie. So we're going to pull ourselves our box right out. Figured I would just kind of chat, have a good time. Unfortunately, my webcam setup is not particularly great for cards on a table, but we will make do with what we have. So, Resurgence of Power. As far as what I'd like to get, any copies of Sephiroth would be great. No more of this guy, please. I have a full playset of full arts now. I have a playset of foil Yuffies, so I don't need her unless she's going to show up very, very shiny. Playset of Ferris and a playset of foil Furion. So if those could stay out of my packs, I would very much appreciate it. Any copies of Lena would be really, really nice. I only have one, I believe. Alright, so here we go. Selfie, Geomancer, Hurricane, False Steward. Very good card unlimited, by the way. In multiples, you can kind of dual False Stewards to make this one very big. Nuge, Leo, Laguna, Fang, and Echidna. Very, very nice card. Our rares are Yuna, Neo, and Meath. Not the most playable set of rares, to be totally honest. Not too much to say on Fang. I think that she might shine a lot more once we get the custom starter deck for Final Fantasy 13 coming up. Alright, so commons, Achika, Chaka, Leafkin, very fun card. Geomancer, Polk, Machinist, Chilinka, Foil Raijin, very nice. And our first legend is a Sonin, with rares of Seraphi, Cindy, and a Yuri. Raijin looks really good in foil. It's actually a better package than I thought it would be, and I didn't think it was going to be very good. But I've seen it actually show up pretty decently. I think the Cypher especially is a very good self-damage outlet because he doesn't actually cost you a lot for your self-damage. You're kind of doing stuff that you would be doing anyway. Foil Waka and a non-foil Sephiroth. Alright, 2 legends in a row. Ingrid, Yuri, and a Cypher. Waka is such a good card. Anything that kind of, like, the card selection on it's just so good. Alright, Imitation Despot, Ranger, really one of the worst cards of this set. Chaka, Black Mage, Half-Mao, very good card. Kate Sith, Chilinka, foil Luna Freya, and a non-foil Garuda. Not a very good pack on the higher rarity stuff, unfortunately. Alright, we got a Rune Fencer, a Sid Kramer, Ranger, Aphmau, a Zell, a Kate Sith, a Snow, a Leon. Actually, not a card I want access to, or a card I wouldn't mind having access to. And then a Soul FFBE. Soul FFBE, I think, is sneaking up on a lot of people, showing up in a lot more lists than I think people expected him to. Lene, Thief, Imitation Despot, Dragoon, Leviathan, Leon, foil Lillicet. Actually looks quite nice in foil. For a especially for a Final Fantasy 12 screenshot, and a non-foil Tifa. Kind of an unfortunate card. Really don't like the card very much. Anything that costs 5 and I mean she doesn't die to Amaterasu, but like you're not getting anything as she does. I don't know. I think the special is like all right, but it's very expensive when you compare it to Doom of the Living for sure. So like I just don't see why you wouldn't play Yuffie or Prish instead. Full art Ash. Now that is a very, very nice one. And a non-foil Daisy. So if you've never seen this card in full art, this is one of the most gorgeous full arts in the game, by the way. Just the coloring on the background. I'm not usually a huge fan of the Ryoma Ito. Flip that one around so you guys can see it a little better. Wow. But the coloring, this like pink, really stands out in person. You have to kind of see it to believe just how good it is. Definitely check out it's a card that if you're going to play mono water, you should get a playset of foils, if not a playset of full arts. Crazy, crazy card. The EX is just kind of overkill. Foil Yuri, card seen a lot more play than I think anybody anticipated, and a non-foil Onion Knight. Very disappointed with the Water Lightning stuff in this set. Even the Lightning actually has not quite lived up to my expectations, although I thought the card would be absolutely busted, and she just happens to be worse than Firion, which is maybe not a bad place to be. Foil False Hero, and there's my playset of Vanille finished out. It's one of the reasons I bought the box, actually. Vanille is maybe the craziest card in the set, hilariously. I keep thinking of like random ways to cheat her in on turn 1 without overpaying, and she's good enough to be worth it. Foil August, that looks quite nice, and a non-foil Lightning. That's our third legend of the box. This completes my playset of non-foil Lightnings. I do have a foil one as well, which was a very nice pull. It's about a $20 foil, if I remember correctly. The Lightning tax is very real. Any card with Lightning in the name tends to be a bit more expensive, regardless of playability. Let's go ahead and get some of these booster pack wrappers out of the way. Alright, Beastmaster, Cold Cab, Chimes, Salamander, Nuge, Berserker, Eject, Cleom, and Physalis. I really like the Physalis, but I've had trouble making her work. I don't tend to play aggressive decks. I also like her best place is going to be like an Earthwind Storm, where you're more likely to be able to cast the cards. And that way she kind of becomes like a discard 1, draw 2, but like if you can't cast one of the cards, she's like discard 1, draw 1, which is less good. And having the cards removed from game is admittedly quite a large cost. Foil Poppy, non-foil Gilgamesh. I don't know that I've had any Gilgamesh before. That's quite a nice card. I really like this as an engine with Cypher. It is category 8, so you can kind of use Cypher to self-damage yourself, get him closer to his big trigger. I think this card is better than people give it credit for. I think it will definitely surprise people, especially because I think Lightning now has enough good self-damage outlets where you can continue to do that. And kind of the damage 3 is less relevant in that deck than it would be elsewhere. Foil Sid Sophiard, a non-foil Soul FFBE. Couple of decent rares. Weiss especially, I think, snuck up on a lot of people. I don't think people realized how good that would be, but I think partly because I don't think the Narrow had been revealed when we first saw Weiss. Just foil Snow, and non-foil Zandy. Alright, moving right along. Laka, Kolka, Kolcab, Runefencer, Red Mage, Ramu, Geomancer, and a Krista. Probably a card that's not a bad to have in foil. Don't really know how to feel about those. I know a lot of people tend to really, really like them and rate them highly. I just always feel like if I'm playing them, they're like the 14th or 15th backups for me, and usually if that's the case, there's a named backup I'd rather play. I really, really like breakable backups nowadays, just because I expect that if I need to break a backup to play a fresh one, it keeps my hand more alive. So having no text to break a card is a pretty big downside, I think. Well, I'll handle him, and non-foil Theodore. Yay. Hey, I genuinely don't like Theodore. I think it's one of the worst design cards that they've ever put out. Never seen a card that both players will bitch about to that degree. I've seen Ice players complain that Theodore never makes you draw, and everyone else complains that Theodore says you can't hold a hand. Sucks from both perspectives. Doesn't do what an Ice player wants to do, and no one actually wants to play against it. And when you've done that, kind of failed as a card designer, I feel. So we're on, what? That is 5 legends. Probably expecting 3 more or so. I don't think I've seen a foil legend yet. Foil Ranger and a non-foil Firion. That's going to be more than my playset of Firions. I have a playset of foils. That's the card I think that really snuck out to people. I don't think people thought he would be bad, but I don't think anybody realized just how difficult he would be to actually block. Since it's so easy to get him quite large in decks that want to play him. I think the reactivation is actually quite relevant as well. Phantasmal Girl and a Melosine. Very nice. One of Steve D's favorite cards. Probably should mess around with mannequins. I don't know if the deck is particularly good, but if nothing else, I think it's nice and cheap, which is always a bonus. I think almost every card in the deck is a common. Foil Squall and a Daisy. Squall taking the place of maybe my worst hero of the year. I've seen him show up in lists a lot. It's one of the things where it's like, I don't think any of his text is necessarily bad, but I don't know. It feels like a card from like Opus 9, and lights and darks are so difficult to make room for these days that I don't know where you would play him. Foil Riku, very happy about that. I'd love to get a playset of her in foil. Riku is the current contender this set for card that I love to play with in pre-release and keep trying to make work in constructed. I think, unlike something like Terra, she's a lot easier to make work. And I love back attacking like a Sonin or a Sephiroth in while you have a Riku on field. Foil Polk. And my second Fneal, very nice. Don't mind having more than a playset of the card. Although it's not necessarily a card I want to be giving out at locals, because I do not want to be playing against it very much, I'll be honest. Very, very good card. That's a Foil Lightning. Kind of spoiling myself. Going a little faster now. Very nice box, honestly. Don't know if I'm necessarily going to plus, because it's pretty hard to do. So much of the value is top-loaded into the Yuffie, but Foil Lightning is a great way to do it. I believe it's one of them, probably the most valuable foil legend in the set, if not one of them. Back-to-back foil legends. A Ferris. A little less happy to see that one. Really sad, actually. I was very excited for Ferris, and she's just managed to underwhelm me every chance that I've had. I was kind of hoping for a foil Lena. Just I think Lena actually is like a decent one out of in Scions as like a last-ditch card to revive Alfino. Well, Chime. Actually, kind of like Chime. I don't think she's a bad card. Crystal Chronicles helps a lot there, admittedly. But 1k power and first strike means that it's sometimes very difficult to get over you if your opponent does basically anything. Sometimes stalling out is nice. Camelot and a Tidus. Still missing my second full art. Still about 10 packs to go. Probably no more foil legends, unfortunately. Mostly okay with these. I think it's my second foil Ferris, if not my third, so it's like not the worst thing to complete a playset ever. Maybe my opinion on her will rise over time. Foil Hien. She looks really nice in foil. And another Squall. Not really the card I'm looking for, admittedly. How are we at? We're on 6 legends. I just realized. Oh, and 2 foil legends, so probably 1 more legend and a full art, maybe a crystal. Sounds about right. Foil Machinist and an Ultimecia. Jury, I think, is still out on Ultimecia. I think the fact she doesn't tax backups means that she's a little easier to play under than I thought when I first read her for your opponent if they don't want to interact with her, but I don't know. I still kind of think that, like, there's maybe the potential for her to show up if your opponent's a win player. Ooh, foil Aranea. That's a good starter. There's my third RCL. Another one of the reasons I kind of wanted to just buy a box. Finish out my playset of a lot of these little, just a little bit of miscellaneous cleanup here and there. Let's see. Ah, foil crystal. Really hate how those take your foil slots. I guess it's better than a lot of foil commons would be. I do kind of like that it's like this really poorly cropped Final Fantasy XI card. Very much hope that's not my other full art. I don't believe it is. Usually the crystals don't take a full art slot. Oh, that's a beauty right there. That's what we're happy to see. A foil Aerith. Oh, wow. Let's turn that around for the camera. Oh. Not a card that's aged particularly well, unfortunately. But that art, ooh, let me get a sleeve for that. Make sure that's... Quite a good box, actually. Quite a good box. Wow. That is immediately the second most valuable card that I own in the game. Oh, it's a split sleeve. We're going to get a better sleeve than that. Alright. Oh, there we go. This one feels much dirtier. Okay. There we go. Straight to the sleeve with you. Wow, this is one of the best boxes I think I've seen for this, too. So there's our two full arts we're expecting. Maybe one more legend. Still the whole bottom row to go. Can't imagine not seeing a legend in the bottom row. Foil starter, two foil legends. Can't complain in the slightest. Foil Onion Knight and a Bartz. Ah, man. Alright, let's see here. Foil Thief, non-foil, two-headed dragon. Seen a lot less of two-headed dragon than I expected. Probably because I don't think I've seen enough fire. It's hard to make room for in Samurais. Alright, bottom row. According to the Steve D theorem, this is always going to contain a legend. We will see how correct the Steve D theorem is today. Watched way too many box openings of Steve's. There's our legend. Non-foil Fran. Foil Dragoon. Love this card. Really been fun playing with Sky Pirates. I kind of missed the boat on them, just because I didn't really want to play them when they were super big. But Fran really kind of takes the deck in a really interesting direction. Wow, third foil legend. So that's non-foil Cerberus. Wow, this is a nice box. Probably not expecting anything big here. Let's see. Yep. Doesn't really matter. I will take that. That is a much better box than the other box I opened. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 legends, 3 foil legends, foil starter. A full art Ash, a crystal, full art Aerith. Let's see how many foil heroes we got. 1, 2, 3. Cerberus is a very nice one. So I think August is a rare. Man, you know it's a good box when you only got 3 foil heroes and you're really not complaining. Yeah, just the 3 heroes. It's funny, I got as many foil legends as I did heroes. Yeah, cannot complain at all. Let's see. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you guys want me to do more box openings in the future or more product openings, I would be happy to do so. I got some fun ideas for future videos in the pipeline.